All right. Welcome, everybody. Yeah, the business of feeling good. It's good to see you all this morning. Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Nobody had to get in the car to go anywhere. Ha ha! So nice. Walk over and hit the empowerment button to turn it on. And when you get bored, empowerment button to turn it off. Sweet. All right. So chair or no chair, most of this routine can be done in a chair if you want to. It's up to you. With spine issues today, really, reach out into the ether and hear your physical therapist. Because if we're going to be going in and doing twisting stuff and you've got spondylolisthesis or you've got something going on back there, you make sure you just go not even to your edge and then come back out, because you're going to get plenty of it. It's not like if we do a spinal twist, that's the only one we're going to do. You're going to get plenty of it today. So snuggle with yourself. That's right. Because if we're not going to snuggle with ourselves, it's that whole adage. If you don't love you can't love anybody else. So just get in there and snuggle with you. Even the spiny parts. And like those parts that are like, those sea urchins, all their little, we all have that part in there, and sometimes it like goes up behind, the pancreas, and it hides out behind the spleen. And sometimes it runs down your leg, but snuggle with that one too. That little spiny sea urchin. That's all just part of us. It's all what happens on the yucky days. And then see what happens. Maybe it'll get a little fluffier. Maybe not. All right. Today's lesson, Chicana. Ooh, time to cross the threshold. This one's pretty. All right. I love these really earthy cards. We're going to use this as we go in and center ourselves. So start to slow that breath and lengthen that spine. There we go. Start to think about the roof of your world. Oh my gosh, is there a glass ceiling, or is it like Bruno Mars? There's no roof. But the roof of your world, if you're a very physically driven person, then you're going to be right up there, the top of the skull, right where those hair follicles start to sprout out of the skin at the top. If you happen to have no hair follicles left, well, where they would have been. And if you're an energy person and you want to go up into that 7th chakra, right up here over the top, or even push out into the edge of your aura for that 8th chakra, really, really find extra space in between each of the vertebrae with each breath, so that you get a little taller and a little taller, and then even a little taller. And the Chicana card says, a threshold appears, bringing an ending so complete that it is no longer possible to return to what has been. The light of the stars is your faithful guide into this new world. As you trust in your divine connection, deconstructed forms shall reshape themselves into relevant, helpful, and beautiful new ways of living, thriving, and this crossing is healing and furthers the activation your divine potential, and then release it down all the way into the base of the pelvis, and then breathe it all the way back up to the roof of your world and back down into the pelvis. Well, One more time. Down into the pelvis. And then take right arm over to left hip and wrap it up, ladies. If you got big bosoms, just grab for something across there. And then left arm comes across, hugging in around the very base of the core of the body. We're going to be working toward really opening the channel, that spinal column. Breathing into the arms, into your own embrace. And then drop the chin into the hollow of the throat and then round the upper back just a little. If you're in a chair, really root those feet into the floor. If you're sitting in a cushion, make sure that you don't tip too far forward. Squish and squish and squish. So as we go to open this column, we're really going to wring it out. We're going to squeeze in on it, and then we're going to expand away from it. So give yourself one more breath. It's a little hard to breathe here. And then when you go to open up, let the elbows slip out to the side. And then let those cactus arms turn up. And open that belly, releasing any stagnant energy from that first chakra, second chakra, third chakra. Then give yourself a twist to the right and then just hold there for 2 breaths. Now, if you can, the next breath, go up to that roof of your world and then release it down and in. Unwind, left hand, right hip, right hand, left hip, and then squeeze in one more time. Squish down, squish down, squish down, and see what's there. If we've been having fun with food lately, it might be a little uncomfortable to squeeze in and down. Notice whether you feel full or empty. Find one more shallow breath. And when you breathe in next, those elbows rise, those fingertips turn up. Freeing that space. And then turn off to the left, 2 breaths. Breathe up to the top of your world, back down into the body, up to the roof of your world, down into the body, and then turning central, right hand, right knee, reach out and over. Loosen up that oblique space over there. And then start to give that arm a circle. So as the hand comes down through the center of that body, imagine that your heart chakra is right here and you're going to just shine it up. If there's any goo on it, scrape it off. Any algae growing on the fish tank of your world. There we go. Beautiful. One more big circle around. Then let that arm extend overhead. Let that bottom arm sweep out as far as it wants to go. It may not go far. Today might be this day. Doop, I'm stuck in the universe. But today might be that day where you can really glue down that left hip and get extra breath into the side of that body. Then the left hand sweeps up and over. Find a comfortable space. Try to twist and turn up toward the ceiling, whatever that means for you. So we've got the bottom of this channel. So we have an energy channel. I used to think this was a load of garbage, and I would have told you several years ago this was a load of garbage. And then I learned differently. I have to fall on my face a lot. Breathe in. Breathe out. Unwind. Slide up. Yes. Notice if you feel taller. Notice if it's easier to access the roof now. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Opposite side. Reaching out and over. So, I got, it's not junk in my trunk. I got something in my side view mirror over here. A little click, a little pop. There we go. And then start making circles. Yes. Loosen all that stuff up. So this channel in the body, so many of you are familiar with it. So some of the ancient texts, they just describe it like a pipe, a smoking pipe that starts down at the base of the pelvis. And then there's this mystical smoke that goes from the tailbone out through a hole in the top of the head and connects up with the heavens. One more time around. There you go. And then let it come up and over. Decide what's for you when you reach today. Oh, yeah, there we go. Breathe into that space. But a lot of the ancient mystics and a lot of modern teachers, they fairly agree on the chakra system. The root, the sacrum, the solar plexus, heart, throat, third eye, and then up here at the crown. I also adopt the next one, which is the edges of the aura. Breathing in, breathing out. Now let one hand reach up, the other hand reaches up. Yes. Breathe it in. Breathe it out. Left hand, right knee, give it a twist. Hold there for a moment. Inhaling. Exhaling, arms reach up. Extend through that column. And then other side. Beautiful. Holding on to what you need to. Extending up. And then reach those hands behind you. If you're in a chair, grab the edges of the chair. If you're on a cushion, you may want to move it. Reach behind you. Stand those legs up. Let the knees roll from side to side. We do this a lot. But we're going to do this with intention today because we've got the base of this column down here at the root. And we're just going to roll across those buns. One, because it feels really good, especially if you've been working out hard lately. Two, because it enlivens this area. It swishes the energies and it gives you a little bit of a twist. If you're in a chair, you're just rolling those knees back and forth. Gorgeous. Legs are going to go off to the left side. We're going to let that right arm rise up, sweep around, and then start to play with it. So if you had a volume button somewhere in the middle of your body, how could you twist through that belly space to adjust your volume? So if that channel is now being twisted as if, I don't know, like a strand of DNA, maybe I don't need to twist in so far. Maybe I need to pull back a little, or maybe I need to just play with it and move in and out. Find 2 more breaths wherever you are. If this is too much for the bottom wrist, put a pillow under it or rest your elbow in the seat of a chair. Unwind off to the other side. I'm going to switch, otherwise you will get my posterior view when I go to the other side. There we go. Roll across that root back there. Yes, all across that sacrum. Really get into the glute space, because you know that as soon as that sciatic happens or something back there happens, your attention goes right to your tail all day long. It's in my tail. It's in my tail. It's in my tail. Well, who wants their attention in their tail all day long? Legs to the right. Arm reaches up. All right, here you go. Adjust your volume. What does that mean? If you've been having grumbly belly issues, what does that mean? Am I stress eating? Am I don't know, gotten on a new routine and my belly hasn't caught up yet? That's possible. There you go. Stretch it in. 2 more breaths. Find the volume that you like best. So this is where that root comes right on up into that second chakra. We're squeezing it. And now we're going to release that area. Plant those feet. And then if you can, release the hands from the floor. We're going to lift up into the thighs and then lean it back. Up into the thighs, give it a squeeze like a nutcracker. Put a big universe nut right there. Crack it. Yes, right there. And then squeeze this time. Drop it back if you need to put your hands down behind you or elbows on top of something. Beautiful, do that. If not, and the legs want to pop up and the arms want to rise, let your body expand into this. This seems contractual because I'm squeezing in. So in some ways, I'm giving that root a real squish, a good hug, but then I'm also expanding above it. 2 more breaths. Find where you want to go. And then let those elbows settle down behind, feet land. If you can, let the head drop back. That's not safe for all people. So if you have cervical issues, keep that head at neutral. Breathe in, breathe out. Head comes up to neutral, chin into the hollow of the throat, right ankle, left knee, and then let that foot fall away a little bit to the left. Little bitty spinal twist. So my whole lower body is kind of going in the opposite direction, but we're slightly lifted too. So it's not an extreme twist. Breathe in, breathe out. The legs rise. We exchange, and then left foot goes to the right. Ooh, there goes that nice chiropractic adjustment back there. No copay. Yes. One more breath. Knees come up, feet plant, lift and lift and lift. Let those feet come together. Reach for the ankles and then give the neck and the shoulders a little break. So contract in your mind. Take this lower part of the body and squeeze the energy centers there. As if you're taking a microscope and you're going to look in on them and check them out. The bottom should be red. Well, should. I don't like that word. One of you likes to tell me, thou shalt not should on thyself. When they depict them, the bottom, they usually depict as red. The next is orange. The next is yellow. The heart is green. The throat is blue. The third eye is violet. And then anything up from that is white or clear. One more breath. Roll up. Extend the arms up. Release what needs releasing from the pelvis through that channel, right out of the top of the head. If these were like old rabbit antennas on the top of a TV, let it expand up through those rabbit antennas and out into the universe. Big breath. And then roll right on over into all fours, if that's comfortable for you. If you have wrist issues, you have lovely things like tabletops and pillows. You can use a coffee table. You can use the seat of a chair. If knees are painful, double up your mat and then start to wag your tail. So I'm going to wag and wag. Press into the outer bits of the hip. Outer bits of the hip. If anything's been replaced or messed with in that area, just be gentle. There we go. If you're not getting down on all fours in this lifetime, you can sit in a chair for the next bit and simply cross the legs. But for now, for those of you that have so missed these, I know you have. I'm going to plant those wrists, stop the wagging, plant the right knee, center line of the body, fire hydrant. Oh, the collective groan. Yes. Oh, and after the dragon walks we did yesterday, these are very special right now. So we're going to come in. We're going to bring that knee as close to the shoulder, close to the shoulder, close to the shoulder, and then we're going to slide back. Bring that knee in close to the shoulder, close to the shoulder. Squeeze that abdominal region, press back. One more time. Bring it in, bring it in, bring it in, bring it in, bring it in. Press it back. Put that foot down. Take this bottom leg, slide it behind you. Open up. If that doesn't work for you, then come up and lift up. But if you can, beautiful. Breathe into those ribs. And then let that top hand come down, meet bottom hand. Give it a twist. And then reach it up. And then give it a twist. And then reach it up. And then give it a twist. Reach it up. And for those of you that really want to go for it, lift that back leg. Even reach back. Grab that foot. Let that heart center burst forward. Find that expansion, that explosion out of the front. But if it ain't going to happen, you're right here, hanging out. You could sit and lift. You could sit and lift. I don't like it when people get bored. So, and then I also teach so many people that have differing health issues, but I like to offer lots and lots of stuff. One more breath. Oh yeah, roll it down. And then give that spine a stir. So I'm going to come a little closer. If I was going to stir, I'm going to take my spine and I'm going to make it go in a circle. So it comes up, in, out, and around. Oh, now y'all can see my cracking marks. Oh, I got attacked by an octopus. And then let that spine roll the other way. There you go. Get in there. Wring that stuff out. Clear that central channel. Because here's what happens. I get a phone call. I'm not happy about that phone call for whatever reason. Oh, it hits me in an ego space. All right, hold there, come center, pull that belly button in. Oh yeah, fire hydrant, opposite side. And y'all know I love to tell stories on fire hydrant day. So I get a phone call. It hits me in my ego space. That's right here in the center. So acid reflux. I get a stomach cramp. I feel it in the pit of my gut, you know. All right, knee comes forward. That foot presses back. Knee comes forward. Foot presses back. Knee comes forward. The foot presses back. There we go. Knee comes forward. Squeeze that area. Send that foot back. The knee cocks behind on that left foot. The ankle goes up and back. And we expand. Now I've got a prop. I could do it this way. I could have a chair. And I could do it that way. But so something comes in. It hits me in this area. And suddenly I'm not filtering anything through the heart anymore. You ever get to that point where you get so frustrated, you're just not even really making sense to yourself anymore? That's blocking the channel. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let that top hand come down and meet. And then lift and expand. Top hand meets. Lift and expand. Top hand meets. Lift and expand. Now, if you're sitting in a chair, you're doing this exactly the way you're going to go sideways instead of up and down. That leg lifts, reach back. Ooh, hey, look at that. I can't reach that today. Ooh, that was a heavy duty workout I did yesterday. I can't even reach that leg. Breathe in. Breathe out wherever you are. Give yourself 2 more breaths. If you're on your knees, expand and contract somehow. Beautiful. Roll it down. Knees plant. Knees go wide this time. Hips push back toward the heels, or forearms come down. Head stacks on the hands and open up that sacral region. If you're going to push all the way back, open those armpits. Make space for the heart and for the ego. And the ego is not a bad thing. It's like it was illustrated recently. The ego is what keeps us from getting hit by a bus when we're out in public spaces. Keeps us alive. It's kind of where that joy spark in us starts to simmer when we start to get interested in things. Let the body come forward. Plant the hands, curl one toe up and in, the other foot up and in. Hands to knees, and then straighten and bend. And if you're still getting up off the floor, I'm not going to judge. If it takes you the next 5 minutes to get up off the floor, I am not going to judge. I was not sure I could get out of bed this morning. We have a buddy that had COVID, and she's like, okay, I'm over it. But it really took weeks out of her life. And so she's been trying to get her physical stamina back up. And she's like, hey, let's get together. And I'm like, yeah, a person I could actually have in my space because they've already had the virus. And then straighten and bend one leg at a time. So, oh my God, we hit it with 2 really interesting workouts. And so if you're still getting up off the floor, I sympathize. Getting out of bed this morning was hard. And then straighten the right leg, bend the left, let that right hand come on up. So here, my channel, right from that little tip of my tailbone, all the way up through the ribs. Be mindful at the cervical spine, and then it comes right out of the top. But now I'm going to twist it just a little, because what that's going to do is it's going to break up any energy here in the middle. Breathing in, breathing out, bend that knee, swap sides. Here we go. So for a lot of us, right here in belly space these days, we're just hanging out in belly land. Breathing in, breathing out, both knees bend. Take the center of that spine, reach it up. Keep reaching through the center, through the center, through the center, through the center. Head starts to roll up, shoulders hug the ears, and then really methodically, slowly put them down. Thumbs roll out. Yes. And then start to swish side to side. Beautiful. Still, just rocking the bowl of the pelvis. Shifting, little off center. Rocking that sacral region. This is where our feelings reside. A lot of us, gut issues right now, constipation and or diarrhea. Maybe it's intermittent. Rocking that ego. Ooh, that stomach acid. Or if we're all really aligned, then we've got this sense of lightness in here. Beautiful. Start turning this into a circle. Big hula hoops here. So as big of a hula hoop as you can make. Round and round. Beautiful. Good, good. So if you've had spine issues for a really long time, those of you that do, or hip issues, you're going to have a really great understanding of what it's like when energy gets stuck in that spinal channel. Or because if your hips don't roll, pause, go in the other direction. If you've got pain in one side and your hips don't roll like they used to, it then starts to, the ringing of the spine isn't as efficient. So those of you could teach me big time about what that's really like. So make sure you find what works for you. Don't overdo. This is not a performance. One more time around. Yes. And then as you come center, really, move the body in around all that goodness that's in there. Gather it all up. Attach the feet to the floor. Become very aware of them. And then pull energy up from the soles of the feet into the hips, into that low spine. Let it lift into the shoulders. Thumbs turn out. Belly button draws in. And then see where the head is. Because a lot of times when I stand up straight, I want to pull in like a soldier. Okay? And that's not necessarily where the head needs to be. Balance the head. Gorgeous. All right. We're going to shift left. I'm going to turn around because I know there's one or two of you that are like me, directionally challenged, we're going to shift left. We're going to take that right leg and either step it across and hold there, or we're going to start to bend in, lift, and find that Garudasana. So we're going to lift in to that eagle posture. And then we're just going to hold here for a moment. So we've either got here, and it's a balance enough for a lot of you, or we start to hug in, squeeze those inner thighs. Notice what it does to the breath. When the balance comes in, the breath starts to get short. See if you can lengthen the breath. One more. And then this right leg is going to explode a little wide. Arms really wide. Open up. Send that pelvis slightly forward. Open that chest, not to pinch, but to rise. Lift the energy out of the pelvis. Inhale. Exhale. Come to neutral. Right hand sits down. We reach over. Opening and arching. Anything that's in this left side of the body that needs to clear out, breathe into it. Ask it to leave if it needs to leave. Maybe that's where the spiny sea urchin is. And then come right up through. Right hand, left hip. Left hand reaches behind, spinal twist. So then you would look like this. Big breath. And then unwind. Open those thumbs. Toes point out. Find that goddess squat. Squat, as I like to say. I don't know why it's hat, but then we say squat. It should be hat and squat, right? I know. I've had people explain it to me. I just like the word squat better. Drop in a little more. And then this time, bring right arm underneath left, and then either attach the back of the hands or all the way and wrap it up. So we're going to do this with a wide leg to open the bottom of the channel, but then we're going to squeeze it up around the heart and the throat. And if you want to take your third eye and attach it to your thumb and invite the breath into the back, you could draw all the way up from the tip of that tailbone and shoot it right out of this top finger. One more breath. Feel those legs. And then open. Lift. Walk those feet back together. And then take the hands to the space in the body that needs you most. Here we go. Maybe give it a shake and a rock. Gorgeous. Step those feet close together again. Shimmy and shake. Let those hands expand again. And then come into stillness. God gave us two sides. Shift right this time. There we go. We're going to shift right and either cross over and touch down or start that squat position. Lift that leg. Tuck it up and over. Those of you that know how to get that foot around the back of that calf, I love you. The only time I can ever do that is in a pool when I'm weightless and my body parts go out somewhere else. Beautiful. We're going to do this a couple more times. So if you want to do the eagle arm wrap now, you could, but if we're going to get there, breathe in, breathe out, step out and wide. Left hand drops down and reach out and over. If you need to come to the hip for more support or put the hand on a chair or a small child's head, stand there. Zoe used to do that. Used to stand there and let me hang out. Beautiful. Breathe into this side. Release what's being held. Yes. And then we lift. up and in. All right, so twisting, left hand, right hip, right hand goes behind the back, looks about like this. Squeeze that left glute a little bit. Breathing in. Breathing out, releasing to wide open fingers, toes turn out, squat it up. Yes. So open the channel space first, tailbone drops down, spine lifted over that pelvis, and then left arm under right. So we either just like I Dream a Genie, but a little backwards, or we come all the way up and in. Belly button draws in, because here's what happens. Boop, let it all hang out. You know, I got a little stuff in there, but my tailbone goes out back. So we pull in. This opens the back side of the heart channel. We breathe into that space, and then we make contact with that third eye if we can, even if we're just right here. But all that energy, the fingers are pointing up, everything rises. Maybe drop another inch in the legs. Oh yeah, find one more breath. Let those legs straighten up, arms slice out, toes turn forward, and then dive into that wide leg forward fold. For some of you, you have really flexible legs. Let them go. Go as deep into this as you want to. If you want to turn this upside down into a headstand, turn it upside down into a headstand. Keep going. Keep going. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. Planting, lifting, rising. If you went up into the headstand, now find that center channel. Squeeze those inner thighs in. Squeeze that pubic bone. Belly button draws in toward the spine. Squeeze. And then when it's time to release, you come back on down. And then we're all going to roll up together. Plant those hands. Let the spine lift halfway. If you have a chair, come into the chair. We're going to plant that right hand, open into a twist. So we're right here. If I've got my chair, I've got my hand planted or my forearm on the back. But if I'm on the floor, these are can opener yoga moves. These are what just go boom and really open into expansion through that spinal channel. Breathe in. Breathe out, come back, center, bend the knees a lot, bend the knees a lot, bend the knees a lot, lift up and out, big sumo squat. You're gonna hug the world. The base of that root is really open, we're lifting, exploding heart, and then back down, and in we go. Extend that tailbone up, plant that left hand, right hand reaches for the sky. If you're in the seat of a chair, the back. And if you're just right here, go just do your thing. Lasso the stars. Reach up for your angel. Woo. Breathe in. Breathe out. Come back down. Bend those knees. Big sumo squat coming. Drop the tailbone. I mean, we're like way down in here. But if that's not good for your knees, you're then going to be way right here. Beautiful. Breathe in. Breathe out. And then let the fingertips rise. The fingertips rise, the fingertips rise, the fingertips rise. That pelvis slides forward. Open the front. And then find the space in the body that needs you most right now. And just relax there. Walk the feet in a little closer. And then just rock. So it's one thing to be big, to go up and out. This is how I spent the first, 35 years of my life. Big, up and out, up and out, up and out. I didn't know what it was to soothe myself. So with these yoga movements, we're going to go up and out, and then we're going to come back in. And then find your stillness. Let those hands drop. Shift to the left. Cross right over left, or move in to that eagle. This time, right arm under left, like you're making something magic, or bring the hands together. If you want to turn this upside down, those of you that know how to do that, you're welcome to. That ankle simply slides out. The arms release. Breathe in. Breathe out. This time, arms slice out. That right foot reaches, toe points away from you. Front toe is perpendicular. Triangle posture. Beautiful. So if you step way away, really hit that triangle posture, but make sure when you go to hit it, you're all in that center line and that the tail isn't out over here. Because then what that causes is too much torque down here in that lumbar spine. We want to hold with the obliques, not with the function of the skeleton. Breathe in. Breathe out. Sweep up and back. Yes, reach for the stars. Bend that front knee. And then hand drops down, elbow drops down, forearm opens, whatever works for you. Wider stance. Loosen the jaw. Now take that top arm, slide it in, either both hands on the thigh, both forearms on the thigh. You can hook under the thigh, pull the third eye down into the knee if you want to. If I do, I'm going to crush the mic. So I'm just going to come down and have a little moment here. Squeeze in, really contract that belly space in over the thigh. Expand through the back of the neck, through that truth center by letting the head hang a moment. Breathe in, breathe out. Now, those of you that want to launch, you know who you are. You're going to reach down either on either side of that right foot or for the ankle itself, and then let that back leg rise. If you're not going there, then you're simply going to rise up into a warrior one, and you're going to come top side instead of bottom side. You be big, be bold. If you want to point your toe at the ceiling, Mama gives you the right to point. But if you want to point your fingers at the ceiling instead, have that warrior one, open that belly, breathe in, breathe out. And then the foot lands or the hand lands. We straighten that front leg, toes turn forward, and then forward fold one more time. Find the backs of those hamstrings. If you want to find that headstand again, find that headstand. You didn't find it the first time. Or you want to hop into your crow posture. You could hop into your crow posture here. Breathing. Exhaling. If you're holding in something fun, stay there for a few more breaths. Otherwise, bend the knees. Roll the spine up. Bring the ears up, ears up, ears up, ears up, shoulders up, and then step together. And hold. So notice, if you had a tube running up and down the body, if you could witness the smoke curling, rock the pelvis and notice what that does to the lifting and the rising and the soothing. One more side. Pause your rocking. Shift right. Left comes across, or squeeze it in. Woo, I came out. I squoze too hard. Left arm under right, or backs of hands, prayer, back of chair. You can do the whole full wrap up. You want to touch knee to elbow. You want to touch thumb to third eye for that full back channel. Expand through that intuition. Breathe in and out through the top of the head. Breathe in through the top of the head down to the tailbone, and then exhale back out to the top of the head. One more. Beautiful arms. Slice that left leg, reaches out, stomps down as big of a leg as you want, and then tip into that triangle. So my big things are that front knee does not lock completely out, because then you're messing with internal functioning of that joint. You don't want to grind in and down, especially for those of us of a certain age. You want to have a little sponge in there so those muscles grab on. And then we don't want to be out here really over torquing this low back. Belly in, find that space. One more big breath. Sweep up and back. Wow. Free all of that. Breathe from the toes to the fingertips, back down to the toes, to the fingertips, and then bend that front knee and rock it on over. Elbow, open up. You want to do the bind? You can do the bind. For those of you that understand what the bind is, that means you've probably been doing it a long time. Binds aren't necessarily something I teach anymore because we're humans. I'm not saying they're wrong. I will not say that. I will say that a lot of body structures can't handle binds, and then we try to force ourselves into them. So then what does that say about ourselves? I'm going to force myself into something that I know I shouldn't. Well, that's a good place to start digging. Grab the shovel, bend in and down, hug the back of that leg if you want to, find support if you need to. Squeeze in if you can get that forehead toward that knee, get it in and down. Breathing in, breathing out. All right, for those of you that are going to launch, I spy some space on either side of that foot or grab the ankle itself. If you're not, you're going to expand up, warrior one. If you're going to reach and grab, oh yeah, go for the no floor. Look, Mom, no hands. There we go. Ooh, been a dog's ear since I've done this one. Breathing in, breathing out. So if you're down, stay there for 2 more breaths. If you're up, find that expansive breath and that way to hold your upper body that gives you more space. Breathe in, breathe out. Back foot comes down or arms start to descend. Toes turn forward. Hands come somewhere on the body that might still be blocked. Heels come in, and then give it a wide leg shimmy. Just playing. This is like our Tuesday morning play date. You know, let those arms come out. And then see if you can get the hips to rock separately from the shoulders. For those of you that have never been dancers, don't judge, just wiggle. It's play date. Reach up through the top of the wrist. A little more extension through that arm. Breathe in, breathe out. Let that right toe rise. Cosmic gesture, reach down for the toe, top arm lifts if you can. If that isn't gonna happen, there you go, ta-da, put on your party face. Breathe in, breathe out, slide through, other side. Give it the cosmic bow, ta-da. Breathe in, release it out. Slide through center. Find body space that's yours. And then slowly start to rise up out of that grand plie. Toes in, heels in, toes in, heels in. And then circles. Beautiful. Now, anybody that's been practicing handstand, if you've got a wall, go I spy your wall, find your launch space with your fingertips 4 or 5 inches away from the edge of the wall, and start your hops. Try to turn yourself upside down. Beautiful. I don't have a spotter for you, but for those of you that have been using COVID as a time and space to learn to do that, go forth. Do good. It's kind of fun. If not, don't go forth, but still do good. Beautiful. Take those toes, point them out, heels, come in, squeeze through the midline of the body, pull belly button in, lift shoulders to ears, and then slowly reach them out and back. Find the roof of the head. And then slowly, slowly, slowly tip to your right, but don't move your feet. It's kind of like the Twilight Zone. There's nothing wrong with your TV. We're just twisting off axis. Notice what it's like to be so heavy in one leg and how much the rest of the body has to try to hold you so that we can be off to one side. Breathe, shift to center, take just a nice clearing breath. When teachers used to say that, I didn't understand clearing breath. What are you talking about, clearing breath? Then opposite side. Notice which side wants to hold you and which side doesn't. One's going to be our dominant side. One's going to give us a whole lot of guff. And notice what's happening in the rest of the body. The breath shortens. So take a breath into those ribs. Expand. Yes. And then through center. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Squeeze around the tailbone. Lift slightly through the back of the neck. And then the next breath comes up right between the heels, right between the legs, right on up through the center of that spine, out the top of the head to the ceiling, then back down. Deeper, deeper, deeper. Breathe. Exhale. Find that channel. Breathe all the way up. Squeeze around the tailbone. Squeeze around the tailbone. Lift. Exhale. Let that belly push out. One more time. Squeeze. Breathe, breathe, breathe. And when you exhale, let the shoulders release with it. Turn the toes forward. Hands come to thighs, knees bend, chin comes into the hollow of the throat. And then decide whether you're going to come down into a chair or whether you're going to come down onto a cushion or the floor. But you're just going to melt back down into the floor. Right onto your back into a bridge posture. So for bridge posture, if you're going into a chair, you guys are going to do forward fold, wide leg forward fold in that chair, hands on a cushion of the floor. Those of you that are going down to the floor, slowly let that spine connect. And then let the ribs rise and find a space underneath the spine that a wee little mechanical mouse could run under the bridge of your spine and out the other side, and then squish that spine down into the floor. So the hips stay connected and the shoulders stay connected, but you're just going to lift the belly and the ribs, and then you're going to press the full length of the spine back down and in. One more time. Lift and arch that spine. Shoulder blades make good contact. And then lower and press the whole spine into the floor. Make really good connection with those feet. Feel the length of the spine press into the floor. And then hands on either side of the hips, maybe even just pinky side down. Lift that pelvis. Gorgeous. And then come down about 1/2 inch and start to rock the pelvis from side to side. So this is barely perceptible for some folks. You're already lifting. That's hard enough for a lot of people. But then you're going to shift from foot to foot. Yes or no. But make sure you unlock the jaw. Let the tongue lay heavy in the base of the mouth. And then pause your rocking and let your bridge come down till your tush almost touches the floor. Then re-engage the feet, press up again. Press with the backs of the arms. Keep that jaw unlocked. For those of you in forward fold, you can start to do some cat and cow. Hands on knees and arch that spine, and then let the belly drop in. And then let the tush come down till it almost touches the floor. And then rise one more time. Use the press of the feet. Inhale. Exhale. Spine rolls down. The backside of the body is clear and clean. Arms up into T position. Choices. Left leg over right. Do the eagle leg twist, but only if you know your body well enough to pull that one off. Otherwise, stack the knees, find a pillow, something to stack the legs on if you need to, and let those legs drop to the right. If you did the leg stack and drop, but that doesn't seem to be enough, you can pike out. Grab both toes and have that. Oh my goodness, y'all are getting a big old view of the butterflies. Yes. So we'd stack, we'd extend. So Jack and Jill went up the hill. They fetched a pail of water. And then Jack and Jill, they're coming back down the hill, but nobody broke their crown because that's just sad. Breathe in. Breathe out. We're tumbling back down like little kids that roll down a hill. We really woke up that spine energy. If your legs are extended, bend them. Then lift the knees to center. In center, find a happy baby of sorts, backs of the thighs, feet. If you're in a chair, you can absolutely do this in a chair. You're going to balance on your tush. You're going to bring one foot up or both, and you're just going to grab for the backs of the legs. This is one of the world's best. So if you've been having stress issues, emotion issues, anxiety issues, this is a beautiful place to go because that gas that's been building up, oh, it's painful. No joke about it. It's painful. We're in our own homes. Do what you need to do. Big breath. Release those feet and then off to the opposite side we go. So if you're going to do the eagle wrap, right leg over left. Make sure you control that descent as it goes on over. But if that's not safe, then just the leg stack. Now, see, I've got a pillow over here. I can bring that pillow up and I can stack my legs on top of a pillow. That way, I'm not going to get this huge opening over here that maybe I don't need today, but maybe I do. So if I'm going to do the pike position, find the battery pack, dig it out of there. I drop, I extend, I find the toes, and then I play with that right shoulder blade. So I try to even the feet up, but then where's that last little spinal twist that I'm going to get out of this? That last little bit. Wring it out. Find that spiny sea urchin wherever it's hiding. 2 more breaths. One more. Filling and releasing. And then coming back into center. Spine's nice and long. Hands on the shins or the backs of the thighs. Pull those thighs down into the belly. Really lengthening the spine. Pressing down and in. As much of the back of the sacrum on the floor as you can. Reaching through the top of the head. Seems so innocuous until one day you do this and it just doesn't work right. Breathe in. Breathe out. Player's choice here. Extend out full Shavasana or take the edges of the feet, put them together. If you're in a chair, make yourself comfortable. Turn the lights out. Grab a blankie. Extend the way you need to extend. Do what you gotta do because now is the time. We get to come into a comfort space for story time. Find the column. Start the breath at the toes. Take the mind to the back sides of the arms and really allow the arms good contact with either the outsides of the body or the floor. Backs of the heels, the bottoms of the heels, whatever's making contact, take your awareness there. And then from heels up past the arms to the crown of the head or even above the head, find that space and lengthen the breath for 3 more breaths. And before we settle in completely, we have our prayer. May the unconditional love of spirit, of the celestial grace of the divine, bless the highest expression of pure love on this planet through all systems, all beings, all creations. May my destiny and the loving destiny of all earth warriors manifest through unconditional love and divine grace for the greatest good. May spirit, the lives of all in the here and now, know the grace of divine love made manifest. May spirit of the deeper realms of existence provide energy filtered through the purifying veil of unconditional love so as to serve the greatest good of all. So be it, and swaha. For those of you that need more time where you are, give yourself that gift. For those that need to start moving, take your right hand, place it on your left shoulder, right where you are. Left hand on your left shoulder. You're going to draw an X across the front of your body. Right hand lands on right hip. Left hand lands on left hip. Unifying right half and left half right there at the center of the channel. Then one more time, left hand, right shoulder. Right hand, left shoulder. Draw an X across the center of the body, landing at the hips. I call this the cosmic seatbelt. Take both hands, lay them on the third eye. Bless your intuitive space to let you know when your channel is starting to get clouded. It will come as grit teeth or lifted shoulders, pain in the sacrum, or a rumbly belly. Allow the intuition to tell you when enough is enough, and it's time for a walk outside or a call to a friend that supports. Had a conversation yesterday with somebody that had less words than sounds as we vented. So let your intuition guide you when you need to make the sounds that release the energy. And as the hands settle somewhere, maybe by the heart, we'll make the sound that unifies us all. Breathing in, exhaling sound of Om. Ooh. God's lips to your ears. I love you all. I will not be live next week. I'm going to try to get another chair yoga up and another weightlifting up before I leave. If not, I can film on vacation and upload to YouTube. I'm going to try to get a couple of things moving so that you guys don't get bored. If you don't know how to find it on YouTube, Google the Sassy Yogi. You will find there's 80 something videos up now. If you get to a point where you really just need a woosah, there are just some meditative things on there. Bill and I did this really cool thing where we took bowls into the woods. So if you see this picture of a tree or like a sky with trees in it, it's just singing bowls and nature sounds. It's a nice thing to do when we get all wound up. I love you. I am so grateful for you because, oh my God, y'all are the reason I got out of bed today. And that is not even a stretch. It was like, this is what we do. And I feel so much better because of you. Thank you. I love you. High fives. I will kiss a manatee for you as long as I don't get in trouble.